Grade 8.
Hey, run that thing up.
Grade 8.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Grade A Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Musa. I got my guy, Ty, here with me today. How you doing, Ty?
Doing good. How about you?
Doing good, man. We had a solid Royal Rumble this past weekend. Some interesting decisions were made, but we're going to jump right into it. What is your overall reactions to the show last night?
The show was fine. I didn't feel like, although probably didn't like some results, they weren't like too like shocking to the point where I was like, oh, this is terrible. Like overall, the product was good. I just hate, and we always talk about this, these 4-match cards. You got all this talent. Like you got the Royal Rumble got 30 people, and you got a list of snubs that wasn't even in the Rumble that could have been useful on this show. The world champion wasn't even on the show fighting. At least he was on the pre-show, but that was my only thing. But overall, I think it was good.
For sure. Aura Hawk, appreciate you joining the show, man. What's up? My reaction to the show was the same thing. Initially, it's a 4-match card, but that's something they've been doing a lot lately. But the show is 4 hours, believe it or not. I mean, that's including obviously the pre-show, the post-show, things like that. I would wish for them to have another match on the card, maybe a women's match. Probably have Jade get some title defenses. Try to build up that reign a little bit. But nonetheless, I thought it was a solid show. This gives me a glimpse of what Saudi's going to look like come next year in Mania. Because I thought I was the only one, but I've seen a couple people that watched the show on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. It looked like there was a lot of people not at the crowd to be in the crowd to begin the show, and that was kind of weird to me. But granted, by the end of the night, it was probably 2 a.m. in Saudi compared to where it was up here in the U.S. probably like 4:30. So that could be a big factor. But the crowd was hit or miss at times. Obviously, we're going to talk about the biggest pops of the night when we get to the matches. But I just believe, hopefully, after Mania next year, we don't get no more big 4 shows at Saudi. Stick to the crown jewel stuff you do. Well, other major PLEs you might want to throw there, but like the Mania, SummerSlams, Survivor Series, Rumbles, let's keep those out of Saudi, because I believe if this is truly AJ's last match, he deserved to be home as opposed to Saudi. And I also believe that played the factor in some of the surprises we were thinking we was going to get based on what Triple H was saying prior to the show beginning. But overall, man, I'll give it like a 3 out of 5 stars for the show. But we're going to jump right into the first match. The Women's Royal Rumble. Liv Morgan, revenge tour continues. She won the Women's Royal Rumble, and she will be going on to face either champion of her choosing at WrestleMania. We're not going to use the word main event because we know Liv Morgan is not main eventing. They can just stop that. Like, they need to stop saying that. We know she's not going to main event, unfortunately. We do know the men who won the Rumble will be main eventing, but we'll get to that in just a moment. What was your thoughts on the Women's Rumble match?
I spoke about this in our private chat, but I thought the match itself was pretty good. Probably, I mean, outside of that Gunther AJ match, that was probably the best match on the card. Um, it just wasn't sloppy and botchy like always. Like it was pretty good. Um, and it was just booked correctly in my opinion. You have Lash Legend pretty much making her presence and actually doing something in the match. Because, most of the times we see these people come from NXT, get in the Rumble, sometimes get an elimination, sometimes not, then get thrown out. But I believe
She had a really good showing.
I believe she was in there for one of the longest
Yeah,
times.
I believe she was
Um,
one of the Iron Survivors in the
um,
match.
and just pretty much what I feel like is going to happen, the Judgment Day turning on Liv, that was pretty much hinted at in this match. So that's why it kind of works with having Liv be the winner, because it's beyond the story. I feel like there was certain things I didn't like. You know, I feel like they could have definitely had a better surprise than Brie Bella, but
Biggest
that's
pop
just
of the
me.
night potentially.
I mean, that's Nikki Bella's already in the ring, so once you hear that music again, you know who it is. like, so um and kind of upset that Tiffany Stratton made the final three, but I'm not gonna speak too much on that. But I will say I think Liv goes the Vakir route in a sense, but um for Mania, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone else is holding the belt and Liv faces them at Mania. But I agree, she's not main eventing WrestleMania, unfortunately, but it is what it is.
Yeah, man. I will say this was definitely the match of the night for me between the two Rumbles. Um, I think we could agree the best match on the card was AJ and Gunther. But I will say this was by far the best Rumble match I have watched for the women's all time. Maybe. I mean, I want to say 20. Was it 24? Was the closest where it had Liv and Rhea as the finalists. But outside that one, I have to remember. I have to go back. That this Rumble really good. I like the bright spots that they had. I like the storytelling they did. It was booked to perfection based on what you can do. I wish Bianca would have came back, but hopefully we see her sooner than later. At this point, if we're not going to get her for Mania, just hold her off until when it's best story wise to bring her back. At this point, but I would have loved to see Lola Vice get a little bit more rub in the ring when she came out. It was nice to see her. I can't say this enough. JC Jane has improved vastly. Presentation, in ring ability, the work she's been doing, I have to give her kudos. She looked really good in the match. Promos is always really good for her, so I'm glad to see her get a rub. Hopefully, she drops the NXT title soon so they can progress her to the main roster. I think she'll be very useful on either brand, whether it's mid or the main event card. Natty, new theme, and they brought the indie character out, and I love that. I also was surprised, and I'm intrigued what they're gonna do with this. Her eliminating Becky Lynch. I
I
think.
mean,
Go
at
ahead.
this point, what more can Becky do that
Put
she
put,
hasn't
put
that
people
that
over.
that she hasn't even already done? But I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Her putting people over is not really like, it didn't really work with Lyra, we just saw. You feel me? Because Lyra's still not doing anything.
Yeah,
So
that's
I feel
just the
like they
creator.
probably go a natty way, because I feel like you can capitalize, and we've been saying this for years. You can capitalize with a good story with Natalia, but the problem is they kind of give her a backstory, then she just goes puts people over. So
Definitely. Yeah, to your point, real quick on the Lyra, I thought it worked up until after the feud. They done nothing with her. Um, it's unfortunate because I know you, Clips, and others like used to call her Becky Hogan, but she has been putting people over and getting them great rub. Creative has just been terrible. And what they're going to utilize Superstar post Becky rivalry. I mean, Maxine has got the biggest pops and rubs she has ever had in her career up until this point. Natty seems like another relevant character again, a resurgence. Hopefully, they do something with that. Cause I can see the triangle effect between her, Becky, and Maxine. But then you got to think about it. You still have AJ looming around. Because at some point, they're going to tell that story between Becky and AJ to finally settle that differences. So I like what they're doing. I like Becky trying to uplift the stars in the mid card division. Great to see Natty get a different character, reboot, and see where they could take this. Lash was my MVP to Rumble. She looked phenomenal. I was sitting in the group chat like, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to jinx it, because I would love to have her in the final four at least. But for her to eliminate not Becky, Rhea, and that was a nasty bump. No, I'm sorry. I'm mixing up Raquel. Raquel eliminated. I'm gonna touch on Raquel in a second. But Lash eliminated the Bella Twins. That was a great spot, especially to give her more heel rub. I will say, Saudi, your fans are real questionable when it comes to brothers and mostly sisters, because calling Lash underrated after what she was doing in that Rumble. This ain't your first offense, but we're not gonna go too far into that when it comes to the Saudi crowd. Raquel looked really good in the match. I love the story they're gonna tell with her and Liv in Judgment Day. That bump she gave to Rhea looked real nasty, real nasty. But I believe it's gonna probably be Raquel versus Liv at Mania.
yep, that's why I was low key hinting at. That's why I was like, yo, right now on paper, yes, I feel like Liv and Vaquer would be the matchup, but don't be surprised if Vaquer is not holding that belt going into Mania. And if they go the Raquel route, it's gonna suck though, because I feel like they won't have Raquel go over at Mania. So like they're finally giving us something with her and her character that you always be talking about.
For sure.
Um, just to hold the belt for like
Couple
2
months.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 months and lose to Liv. I don't know. I feel like Liv deserves it, but I don't know. The story's gonna be there.
So my thing is, right, when it comes to this situation, and I said this multiple times, I'm not saying Raquel is on the level of Rhea Ripley. But when you have someone that size like a Rhea Ripley, who can also go toe to toe with Rhea Ripley, have really good chemistry matches, you can do something with this superstar if you give the right character and development. She's really sinking her teeth into this big mommy role, kind of like a Kevin Nash role, and I love that for her. Promos has been getting better each week. I believe, and it all depends on Valkyrie's injury update, because if she's healthy enough to go through Mania, I don't see them having Raquel drop the belt, which sucks. I would love for them to do something with Raquel. So if Valkyrie is healthy enough, it's also going to be Valkyrie versus Liv. And then they probably tell the Judgment Day breakup probably post Mania, which for us is going to be dragging it. But I can then see them going a full way. I wouldn't mind seeing this. I doubt them doing this for this type of stipulation match, but a full way 14 ladder match for the women's tag titles, considering all these tag teams you have now that's depth. I wouldn't mind seeing Roxanne and Raquel as a tag team going up against Riho. Then you have Lash and Nia Jax, the Bella Twins. I'm assuming the Bree's gonna be there for at least a Mania program. It's questionable with the Bella Twins because Bree's a face through and through. Nikki is currently a heel, so I don't know how that's gonna work, but I can see them trying to stir up the pot and go that route as well. Or maybe you do a 3-way match: Raquel, Valkyrie, Liv, and you put. If you really want to put Raquel over, give her Roman moment at Mania. Have her stack them both. Stack them. Improve her dominance, and that would be a good way to go over. But that was a really, really good Rumble match. The ending was phenomenal. Like one of the best endings you can tell. Albeit, I really wish Tiffy wasn't in the ending, but I can see why, given the spot how they wanted to have the ending go. But yeah, that was a really good showing. So Ruka will be a future world champion. So
yeah, I was like, hold on, we can't finish without giving praise to Soruka. Because I think that final 3 finish was amazing.
I don't think those 3 could only be the ones to pull it off. That's why I can understand why Tiffy was involved in that.
My thing was Soruka though. She's going for the finisher, but it's like even if you hit that, you both was getting eliminated. So I just wanted to know what the psychology was there, but
I'm watching it. I'm just sitting here like, does she know like what's gonna happen if she hits a soul snatcher on the apron? Like,
I'm like, yo, come on.
I don't understand. I don't get it. But all in all, that was a really, really good match. Before we move on to the next match, let's read some more comments and answer these questions. First, I know I already pulled this up, but Aura Hawk 1, name a wrestler who you do not like as a person. Unimportant side note, I'm a son of a loca, using a temporary name until after the Super Bowl. Name a wrestler who you don't like as a person. I mean, the easy one could be someone that recently transitioned, but I'm gonna leave that alone. I mean, everyone could choose. Everyone chooses that person. I'll let you go first on that one, Ty. I had to tag you in real quick.
Damn.
I don't really have one, if I'm being honest. Because I don't know them personally for me to not like dislike them as a person. I just hear stories from their peers, but I mean, someone else's experience could be different from mine. So I don't like to go off other people's experiences.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I got an answer for that.
Yeah. But I mean, we pretty both know the obvious things people will say. But we're gonna leave that alone. Appreciate the comment, Aura Hawk. Next, we have Focus YT3. What's Mr. Trey? What up? Chase, what up, man? Nice to hear from you. Hope everything's going well. Appreciate you joining the show. So, any last thoughts on the Women's Rumble before we move on to the next match?
Nah.
Now for the tough part, man. Gunther versus AJ Styles. Career match. The phenomenal one has hung up his boots, hypothetically. We've seen a lot of these career matches and things happen afterwards. What was your thoughts on the match overall? And then once we go through that, we're going to just talk about our favorite AJ Styles moments in his career. All his career. So it doesn't have to be only WWE.
I mean, no pun intended, but phenomenal. It was, I told you, this felt like a WrestleMania match. They gave him time, telling the story in the ring, using the right near falls. This match was like, I would say like 20 times better than Cena versus Gunther. Like,
Absolutely.
and Jay versus Gunther. So I don't know. This match, I loved it. The decision to me I'm not mad because we know, we know what story they're telling with Gunther. We know he's gonna be literally the career killer. But I just felt like it's just too early. It's too early to just not see AJ Styles. That's why I feel like a lot of people haven't really let it sink in yet because it just seems too early. So it seems off. Like
Right.
if this was Mania, I can see that, right? Because what better way to go out WrestleMania, but he debuted it at the Rumble and I guess he finishes off at the Rumble.
And that's where I was actually gonna make my point. Well, if this is really the end for him and this is what he wanted, it does make sense. It's been 10 years to the day. Well, not the exact day, but to the annual event of him joining WWE. So it's crazy to think that's been 10 years already. Like he accomplished a lot in the 10 years. Face the runs the place on SmackDown Live. That era, the 2017 era, was phenomenal. No pun intended. The championship, excuse me, rivalry he had with Cena was great. Nakamura could have been better, but honestly, if you would have got what we had with Nakamura at that main event back then, oh, chef's kiss. But that entire run, I mean, he was on the cover of 2K. Like he did a lot. So I'm not mad at what he accomplished. Obviously, tag teaming with Omos, tag teaming with Dragon Lee towards the end. He had a really, really good WWE run. And I would say the match itself was definitely a Mania match. I would say the venue itself gave a Mania vibe from the stage, which is crazy. It took them 35 days to build that stage. Like, I encourage people to go look up WWE Royal Rumble 2026 arena or stage, however you want to put it in, and just look at that stage. It took them 35 days to build that. So credit to those who did build that. But yeah, the match was great. I love how the ending story was told because it made me really think that, hold on, AJ might actually fight back and win this match. But then what makes me push back on him actually retiring is the scene after the match with the gloves. Like he was really 50-50 on if he really wanted to hang him up and not leave everything in the ring. The symbolism behind all that. So that's what made me question if he's really going to retire, if he's going to do one more match at Mania, potentially. But I don't see him, and Triple H mentioned this too on the post show, I don't see him wrestling the entire calendar year of 2026. So if he does go further than this, I'll say his last stop will probably be Mania. But with that being said, the career killer, Gunther, I told y'all, we talked about this. Whoever was going to win that tournament and beat Cena, because no matter who won the tournament, they was beating Cena, has to go on a run similar to this or not better. Something has to come out of it. You retire Goldberg, you retire Cena, now you potentially just retire AJ Styles. And I'm pretty damn sure by the end of this summer, the next tombstone on that list is going to be Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. I mean, what better way can you start especially a villain-like arc than Gunther's right now? And if they continue to do this right, this can be close to, not from a storyline set, because it's not going to come there. But just from people hating him until he became more loved. Roman, when Roman was really doing that heel work early in the Tribal Chief era, people hated him until once you start getting the fans back and the story started getting even better, then you included Sammy, they began to love him even more. You can get that type of villain arc with Gunther with this storyline if you continue to tell it the way you do. So, and the best part, you don't need to put the belt on him. So you could continue to do this, and then post SummerSlam, if he does retire Brock at SummerSlam, there's no way by the end of this calendar he's not the champion on either brand, or at least going into Mania of next year in Saudi, walking in the challenger and coming out as the champ. So there's nothing else much you could say. He's the best wrestler in the world, in my opinion. And it was a phenomenal match. He could wrestle a broomstick and make a 5-star match. So my favorite moment for AJ Styles, his entire career, so this is including TNA, I will probably have to lean, I want to say it was 2008. Was it Sacrifice or TNA Genesis? Him and Kurt Angle for the TNA title. I think that match when he won the belt was probably one of my favorite moments. And then you got to think about the X Division matches he used to have. Him, Daniels, and AJ and Samoa Joe will be my second one. So I'll let you go. What's your favorite AJ Styles moment?
I mean, every moment. AJ Styles to me was like, because you know how it is when you grow up, you only learn WWE, and you start flipping that channel, right? Then you just see something else, right? And who's gonna catch your eye? This short guy walking out with a hoodie, throwing the hoodie off.
Doing
Like
spinal taps.
he was, I don't know, like to me, he's like a generational talent. You know,
He's like a Shawn Michaels.
Exactly. He's somebody you can start your company behind, and he's proven it. I mean, more recently, I would say probably, I mean, just I feel like all his title runs, in my opinion, have been amazing. I don't think there has not been one weak one, and even when they tried to put James Ellsworth in the story, he was still carrying it. So it's like, I don't know. The AJ Styles, he's a true worker. So no matter what he's being told to do, he's gonna do it and he's gonna do it right. He turned, like you said, that Nakamura match. We just got that now. That could have happened 6 years ago.
Vince in 2018 was just like, oh Lord. We had magic in a bottle in 2016. It just got ruined. But I think another big point to what you made, to add to the point you made, that is very, really rare because of the era he wrestled in and we grew up in. He's undersized. He's not the typical built stature wrestler that people go for. The Hulk Hogan build, the Brock build, Bobby Lashley build. He's not that. He's an average build guy. I mean, he's stocky for his size. Don't get me wrong. But we talk about prime AJ. He was a decent regular sized guy. And he's a high flyer, which doesn't typically fit the norm of a main eventer for most people's eyes back then. And obviously, for us, we didn't care. We wanted to see those type of guys excel. That's why we gravitate towards the Jeff Hardys of the world, the Sabus, because of that. But AJ, what separated him was he could actually tell a story in the ring and not can't really rely on his high flying ability as much. And I think that's what really kind of gravitated most people towards him growing up and to this day. So if this is the last run, man, AJ, thank you for everything you have brought to this business. And we wish you the best on whatever it is that you do next and keep giving back to the wrestling business in some way or fashion. Aura Hawk had a comment. I'm going to pull it back up. Name a childhood WWE memory you have. I think we talked about this a lot. I will probably just go with WrestleMania 17, Austin and The Rock. The promo package, if you don't want to watch the match, because you can watch it on YouTube now at this point, if you don't want to watch the match, just watch the promo card. Like that alone will get you sold on the match. With Limp Bizkit as the soundtrack, yeah, so I'll just say that.
Shit, I mean, I got too much to say, but I would say like a vivid memory I can replay is like pretty much the New Year's resolution elimination chamber match.
With Edge
I
cashed
felt
in.
that's like one of my like first like wrestling like heartbreaks. You're seeing John Cena
He
just
was
go through all this.
he went through a lot.
Then Edge just comes out. First time the cash in even exists, so it's there. Like, you never seen this before. And just one the spare GG's. And that was the birth of a great rivalry. So that's pretty much why I'll never forget that moment.
When that Metalingus hit, I was like, oh man, no.
It's over. It's
I
over.
looked at Cena, I was like, yo, Cena can't even stand. Even if he's trying to sell it or not. If you guys go back and watch that New Year's Revolution, I want to say it was what, 07, 08? Or 08,
I think it's
09?
06.
06. That's right. Damn, 20 years. That's crazy. Go back and watch that chamber match. That was a brutal match. It was real brutal. So for Cena to go through that for like 20, 25 minutes and then have Edge come out and just throw the championship, man, what a night, man. But moving right along, we're gonna go to the next match. We had the WWE World Championship match. Drew McIntyre versus the hometown hero, Sami Zayn. I'll be honest, this is the one match I didn't catch, so I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this. I got busy around this match, but I kind of figured Drew was gonna win, but I'll let you take this one away, Ty. What was your initial thoughts on the match?
It was okay. I think what didn't do much for me was that this was technically last minute if you really think about it. Drew won the belt what 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Then pretty much Sammy got announced as the number one contender literally last week. So like I felt like when you have Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn for the belt, I feel like you should have pushed a little more for, this can be the first time Sammy's going to capture the belt. They used it for the story, but they weren't really playing much into it. We knew Drew wasn't going to lose the belt after they just put it on him. And I don't know, the match itself was okay. But I mean, it really sucks because what do you do with Sami Zayn? I'm assuming he'll be in the chamber. Does he win the chamber? Doubt it. Unless they're gonna do a multi-man for the WWE title. If they're gonna do a multi-man match at WrestleMania for the WWE title, I can see Sammy being in the title picture still. But if it's gonna involve Cody, then Fatu's gonna be there. So I'm kind of leaning towards that being a triple threat. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
They might do a 4-way. We haven't had that since 2000.
That's what I'm saying. So if they do the 4-way, I know Roman's gonna go to Punk, so I feel like Sami Zayn would fit.
Now, who goes over
in the 4-way?
Yeah, but save that answer because we're gonna talk about that a little later. Actually, we're gonna hold that thought. As I mentioned, I didn't get to see the match, but I'm gonna get a chance to rewatch it. Hopefully, because I was curious if Netflix is gonna put the Rumble match pay-per-view on right away. It's not there as of now, which doesn't surprise me when it comes to Netflix. But hopefully it's there sooner than later. I hope you don't have to wait till a whole nother plethora of new shows to get added for them to add up one PLE. So, but what I will say is I'll start off with the men's Rumble match. I said it during the show. It felt rushed. Like it felt like we was just going through it too fast. The match itself was okay. Definitely one of the weaker spots of the show. outside of like the Drew and Sammy match. But I will say they could have done some things a little different as far when it comes to booking this match, and they've been just fine. Obviously Roman Reigns winning the Rumble. We talked about it. You talked about it in particular mostly. For him to be one of those greats, and he's one of the few. He's the only one out of the greats that we list, like the Ortons, Austins, Cody at this point. He's only one without multiple Rumble wins. So that kind of lets you know off the bat he was probably going to win the Rumble. Fernando, yes, we agreed. We touched on the Rumble, the Women's Rumble earlier. The Women's Rumble was by far better. I said it. This is probably the best Women's Rumble match they had from a booking standpoint and everything. With that being said, though, some things I would have changed differently. Oba would have been in the Final Four for sure. If you wasn't gonna put him over, that's fine. Because you guys I told you guys I would love to see Oba win it. It probably would have been too soon, but Oba should have been in the Final Four, and he should have been the one to eliminate Brock Lesnar. Absolutely. And since we're on the Brock Lesnar elimination, that happened by LA Knight and Cody Rhodes.
The most
his elimination
elimination ever.
Go ahead. Because how it happened, this is why I said the booking was terrible. Why the fuck? Excuse my language, but it irritated me because I said it going into the match. Can we stop this yeeting stuff with Jey Uso, please? It's oversaturated. It's done. You're killing a dead horse. You had him take 20 minutes just to get from the crowd to the ring. It could have been entry 28 by then. By the time he took him to get to the ring, then you had him run it back while he's in the middle of the Rumble match. On top of while you're doing that, Brock Lesnar, who's one of your biggest stars in the match, gets eliminated, and you don't even have the camera pan to it because you're worried about this man eating with the fans. And the best part about the spot was when Roman acted like he was going to yeet with him and knocked his ass out. That was the best part. You got Jey Uso looking like a joke at this point. Like it's a joke what they're doing, which is why I believed LA Knight could have easily won this Rumble match because he's just as over as Jey with the fans. He's a better in-ring worker, in my opinion, and he clears Jey on the mic. The only thing is he's not in the bloodline, if I'm being honest. But I'll let you continue. I'll let you take it away.
You gotta change his last name to LA Uso or LA Fatu to get a push. But yeah, nah, you said it. You said it. I'm like, I don't hate that Brock tossed out Oba because I'm like, all right, if Oba's not gonna win, we have to pretty much set up his elimination as, his, first feud on the main roster, in my opinion. And first to start off, they already booked it wrong because he eliminated the first 5 people. Then I don't think he got a single elimination after that.
No one had more than 5 eliminations the entire PLE.
So I'm like, why is it was just like Fernando said, it was just weird eliminations. Then so you have Brock toss out Oba. Then these two guys, we're being told it's LA Knight and Cody Rhodes, but there was no camera pan. We don't know who took out Brock. Could have just walked off.
Those are the crowd. Yeah.
He could have just walked off. So I don't know. I feel like that was terrible because it's like it played nothing into it. Then, I would say a bright spot. I do like the Drew interference. That Claymore was clean.
Oh, it was beautiful. Caught me off guard, if I'm being honest.
And I'm glad it happened because if I saw Cody Rhodes, I'm telling you, man.
I think that would have been worse than Roman winning. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, nah. Once Gunther came out at 30, I was like, yeah, I'll take the Roman. I'll take the Roman. Cause I'm like, you're giving me Cody, Roman, or Gunther? Yeah, I'll take the Roman. At least we could get Roman versus Punk. But
Which
yeah, nah, this could have been booked way better. The women's match is 100 times better.
and it's so sad though. We really should be getting Roman versus Seth. We really should be getting Seth versus Roman.
Nah, we don't need that.
What?
We don't need that.
With the story they've been telling from 40, was it 41? How it was writing on the wall. It was there for the taking. Because I think
We
you would
can
have got
have that without the title. I feel like.
valid, but I believe given where they were at before the actual shoulder injury, that was the collision course we was on. Because then we was gonna finally get Punk versus Rhodes.
But then again, they just had a triple threat last year, so like,
yeah, that's true too. But I mean, imagine those main events from each night. You got Brock. I'm sorry, not Brock. You got Seth versus Roman for the World Heavyweight title. Then you have Punk versus Cody for the WWE title. I mean,
nah, I don't need Cody.
then you probably get Gunther and Brock, or who knows? But the beauty about the wrestling business, man, what you always have originally planned never comes out to be the case come Mania time. Things always change and happen. Some superstars just catch fire and lightning in the bottle where you had to just adjust your plans. That's why I always say wrestling to me is one of the most difficult businesses in sports to be a part of because of the toll it takes on your body being on the road more than almost 365 days a year on top of just a constant storyline switching. There's no off season. So one thing that we didn't talk about during that match was the number 2 entrant, Braun Breaker. He walks down the ring, and the masked man comes and attacks him, stomps on his head, and over-eliminates him. Now, obviously, it would be crazy if that was Austin Theory for him to fit because he put on a lot of muscle. But I don't think that was Austin. You mentioned it could potentially be Ricky Saints. All I know is
yeah, keep going.
All I know is it seems like we're gonna get Seth versus Braun at Mania because I think Seth might be able to come back in time for that. But that's all I was gonna say. I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, I think. Well, one, Triple H loves doing this masked man. Yep, like Fernando just said, perfect timing. He loves doing this, right? So the fact that the masked man didn't reveal his face, I think they just used somebody for the spot, but I think it's gonna be revealed to be Seth Rollins, and yeah, we're gonna get the Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker, most likely at WrestleMania. But just this whole vision thing is just like, come on. I don't know what they're doing with this. Like the promos from Heyman and everything, it brings the faction up, but just like the storytelling with it has just been all over the place. It doesn't make sense.
Now, I will say, just throw this out there. What if that was Adam Pearce and we get an Adam Pearce versus Braun Breaker match at the Chamber?
That is a possibility.
I won't be mad at that. A lot of people don't understand. Adam Pearce is a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, and he got it at the time where you wasn't just giving anybody that title. So I want to put that out there. Fernando said it. What he thinks is Grayson Waller. I wouldn't be mad at that if they can tell the story correctly. The problem is I don't think they do, so I don't believe it will be Grayson Waller. Now it clearly didn't look like it, but I wouldn't have been mad if they did a little Montez Ford. Since you mentioned Montez Ford in the comments earlier, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be mad at that because they're not injured, by the way. The Street Profits are not injured. They just have them off of TV for creative. Just to they're trying to find something for them to do, which is sad that they don't have nothing to do for the Street Profits with their depleted tag team divisions. But You know, just keep getting us MFTs in the Wyatt Six. You know, we enjoy that every week. Fernando says, "So I'll be creative." Then he mentioned, "Come on, bro, Adam Pearce versus Brock Lesnar." No. If I said Adam versus Brock, I apologize. I meant Braun. I think it'll be Braun versus Adam. At Elimination Chamber, because they've been telling that little story on Raw. I wouldn't be mad at it because other people don't know that Adam can actually wrestle, and he was a world champion, something that Braun Breaker has not been yet. So, yeah, I wouldn't be mad to see that a little GM superstar rivalry. I mean, it happened when we was growing up back in the day, so it'd be nice to see now. But GMs that actually were wrestlers. You know, back then you had Teddy Long and Eric Bischoff with his damn karate suit. Like, at least now we get GMs that actually wrestlers. Like Nick Aldis gets back in the ring. I would love to see that. So that is that. But any other comments on the Rumble before we get into our next segment of the show?
No.
How good is he as an Adam Pearce? As I mentioned, he's a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. I would encourage you and other viewers that aren't familiar, just type up a list of names that won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and you let me know how good he is. And like I said, he won that belt when it wasn't just giving it to anybody back then. This is when, even now, even if you win the belt now, it still has prestige. Ric Flair held that belt. Dusty Rhodes held that belt for some names. Nick Aldis also held that belt, and he lost it to Cody Rhodes. So there's some names to throw out there that held the belt. But nonetheless, we're going to move right along to the next segment. And I want to give a shout out to the No Name Wrestling Podcast, because I watch their show as often as I can, and I seen them recently do this segment, so I thought it would be nice to do over here. We're going to draft our top 5 Royal Rumbles all time, and you, the fans watching, will let us know who has the best Rumble. Some of these Rumble years might be before your time, so you might do some homework on that, but nonetheless, try your best. We appreciate you joining the show and watching and commenting. So I was hoping for our guy Roman to be here, so it'll be 3 of us, but it's just gonna be 2 of us. So we'll just keep it at 5. I'm gonna let Ty go first, which might be a bad idea, but it's okay. We are going to pick our top 5 best Royal Rumbles. So I'll let you go first on this segment, and you can take it away.
I gotta go with the greatest final 2 participants ever.
I think you're gonna take the one I wanted.
2007.
Yeah, I knew it. Damn it, I knew it. For those who might be too young for this 2007 Royal Rumble was when The Undertaker won his only Rumble, and he went on to face Batista at WrestleMania 23, I believe it was, in Detroit. The final 4 was Taker, Randy Orton, Edge, and Shawn Michaels. At the time, Edge and Randy Orton was a tag team rated RKO. They both got eliminated simultaneously by Shawn, and then you had Shawn and Taker going one-on-one for the spot to go with Main Event Mania. And I have to say, this probably was the gear that started later down the line, the 2 best main events you probably will ever have. Not main events, but matches you will ever have at WrestleMania between Taker and Shawn. So that is a great pick by Ty with the 07 Rumble. And my pick, I'm going to get this out the way because I can't let you get this one too. My favorite Royal Rumble overall, show-wise, I'm going with 2001. Stone Cold Steve Austin. When he got the trilogy, he got his 3rd Rumble. Taking out Kane with the steel chair, throwing him over the top rope, man. We got that leading to, of course, Austin and Rock 17. So I'm going to go 01 Rumble. Fernando had a comment, number 1, British Bulldogs versus HBK, beginning of the beginning of the Rumble and the ending of the Rumble. Okay. Ty, what's your next one?
I gotta go with the greatest return of all time. I'm taking the year after 2008.
Yeah, fam. See, I'm not liking you right now, bro. Yeah,
Gotta get the heavy ones
that
out
was
there.
that was on my list too. I was actually gonna take that one next, but I figured I was damn if I do, damn if I don't. If I don't take 01 now, he's gonna take it. And it was the same thing I felt with 08. But really quickly, because I almost forgot to talk about this comment from Orahawk. One. If you watched him before, what are your thoughts on Bobby Monsoon? I don't know if Ty's familiar with this person. I'm not familiar with this person. I had looked him up while you sent the chat, so I just almost forgot to mention it. He's a YouTuber. It seems like he talks about wrestling, WWE, AEW, and things like that. I will check him out, but I have never heard of him until today, so I'll check him out and check out his work. Have you heard of him, Ty?
Nah, I haven't heard of him.
Okay. Fernando said number 2, Ric Flair winning the Rumble. Oh yeah, that's a good one. It won't be my next pick, but that was really a really good one. Okay. We can include this year's Rumble, by the way. That's you want to put that out there. But I probably won't pick one of those just to be fair. I would say my next Rumble, I'm gonna have to go. I'm torn between two because I think you might take the other one, but I'm gonna go with this one because I don't think the other one you're gonna take or remember. So I'm gonna go with 05 with Batista winning the Rumble, his first Rumble, where you had the double finish where you had to redo the Rumble and
the double torn quads.
Yep, Vince tore his quads, man. That was the birth of the Ruthless Aggression era for sure, with John and Batista spearheading that. So I'm gonna go with 05.
I'm gonna go with.
Hope he don't pick the one I was gonna go with.
Nah, I'm gonna pick the one since Fernando already mentioned it. 95.
Okay.
HBK's first Rumble win.
Number
like
one.
he said, the number 1 British Bulldog. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now, my next pick is going to be, since you didn't take it, I'm taking it. The 2002 Royal Rumble, the return of the game, Triple H. That's the one I'm going to take. This is my third pick, I believe. Fernando says number 4, the co-winners, Lex Luger and Bret Hart. Actually, that's one of my worst Rumbles because it's a Rumble. You can pick a winner, but that's besides the point. So my third pick is the 02 Rumble with Triple H winning. Coming back in London, Kurt Angle.
This next one, the 2000s were cooking. So I got to take 2006. Rey Mysterio.
Oh, that hurt my
Eddie
heart.
Guerrero.
That hurt my heart because that was my next one.
All I need to say.
It's okay though, because the one I'm going to take, and it's fitting that I'm taking it, of course. Now, granted, the winner, we know why we don't talk about the winner. But I'm taking this Rumble, damn it, because if you go back and just watch the 2004 Royal Rumble,
my favorite. That's my personal favorite, honestly.
That Rumble was so damn good. And Jim Ross on the commentary, the way he told that story for Chris Benoit and how he eliminated Big Show to win that Rumble in the same, like, I cannot leave this off my top 5, regardless of what happened with the wrestler who won it in Chris Benoit. So I'm going with the 2004 Royal Rumble as my 4th pick. Yeah, man. I got to try to put belt to ass right now, man. You got a good list.
Yeah, that was. I told you that's one of my personal favorites. I was gonna take it earlier, but I was like, nah, knowing him.
You should have took it. He's gonna save
the controversy.
Hey, you know why 2001 is my favorite Royal Rumble overall because of that ladder match with him and Jericho. So yeah,
All right.
I can't put that next comment up because that was actually going to be my next pick. So I can't do that yet.
I'm gonna do yeah, I gotta go with 92. Ric Flair.
Wait, you already took 08, right?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. So I can't put this comment up. Yeah, Fernando said number 5, Cena returning from the injury and winning it. All right, so you got your last pick was the 1992 Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it was gonna be 04, but I'll
Okay.
take 92.
All right. So I want to take some of the most recent ones. I really do because I love the 23 Rumble with Rhea Ripley and Liv. Cody versus 23 Cody was good with him and Gunther. That was a good one too. But I'm probably gonna lean because even 2018 with Shinsuke was good. I can mention these now that I have the last pick. I'm gonna lean 2010. I'm going 2010. Edge coming back and winning that Rumble. That's gonna be the one I go with. Yeah, try to be a little different. So that's going to be it for the Royal Rumble segment. I have the 2010 Royal Rumble at 5, 2004 Royal Rumble. I then proceed to take the 2005 Rumble with Batista. I had 2001. And then my last Rumble, I believe, was 2002 with Triple H. And Ty, you had what Rumbles you had again?
I had 07, 08, 06, 92, and 95.
Perfect. So let us know in the comment section who you think had the best Royal Rumble team between myself and Ty. Let us know what your top 5 Royal Rumbles will be. And you can pick based on the ones you've seen or overall. It's up to you guys. But we appreciate you guys watching. And before we end the show, we're gonna go switch the gears into AEW really quickly. It won't be too much AEW, but Maria, hello, nice for you to join. Appreciate you joining up. Really quickly, Tommaso Ciampa, the Psycho Killer, is all elite. And not only that, in his very first match last night at Collision, he defeated Mark Briscoe for the TNT Championship. It is now the TNT champion, and he already has a bullet on his back because Kyle Fletcher has his sights on Tommaso and that TNT title. I must say, that was a great way to introduce Tommaso. I love the idea of him and Kyle Fletcher getting in the ring and lacing up the boots and see how that goes. That's going to be a physical match. And that damn theme song, that's one of my favorite theme songs right now. It's the one that Tommaso Ciampa has. But I would like to hear your thoughts on the signing and the direction you believe that Tommaso may have going forward with AEW. Also, Maria, your Rumble, where it was 40 with Alberto Del Rio winning, was the 2011, I believe.
The worst
2011.
Rumble.
Yeah, that
ever.
was probably the worst one. Unfortunately, not to his fault, but
Yeah, Champa. I was questioning the signing at first, but he is the only male superstar to win an AEW title in his debut match.
well deserved too.
So, that tells me they got plans. And the TNT title is pretty much like every mid card right now, where it's pretty much open challenges. And Tommaso Ciampa, he's good at open challenges because we literally just seen him come from an open challenge with Carmelo Hayes.
Literally.
So it's funny. But he's just an amazing storyteller.
I didn't know he was from Boston either.
You never knew that?
I did not know that.
Man, he looked like he was from Boston, bro.
Look like he from Southie.
Bro, he looked like bro. He looked like
Yeah,
he's like 70 something.
he got that Rob
And he's
Zombie
not that
beard
old,
going.
so but yeah, I think it's pretty good. Um I just don't want this to lead to Gargano coming. Then now we're gonna redo the
DIY.
DIY stuff. Nah, I'm sick and tired of that. Um, it was good when it happened, but WWE already has told that story too many times, so I don't want to see it. But yeah, I think it's great. My only thing, I kind of don't want Kyle Fletcher to be fighting him
Too soon.
because it just more so like, what are we doing with Kyle Fletcher? Like, you lose the mid card to come back to the mid card title. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
and like, I'd rather see Tommaso go on a run than we see somebody who hasn't held a singles title yet take the belt off of him.
That
That's
theme
the best
song,
way.
man. The presentation was like beautiful. I was trying to find that song on Apple Music. I'm trying to add to the workout list. My shadow knows my story. Yeah, that song's fire. The flames coming up. I ain't gonna lie, it was a great presentation for him. I agree with everything you said. Is it crazy to say AEW is telling better stories right now than WWE?
Nah, it's not crazy to say. The
Like
problem,
AEW been cooking. I'm not gonna lie.
the only issue with AEW right now, and it's just not really an issue. It's just, I don't know. It's more to see, But AEW is obviously putting all their cards on the table right now. You got Kenny Omega going back to singles action. Um, a lot of people don't think this is AJ Styles' last ever wrestling match. They think he might come through. I don't know how much I believe that, but yeah, I think AEW is telling better stories right now. Um, but it kind of sucks because they're quote unquote not known for telling the stories, right? So maybe it feels like they're pushing out their, you know, regular viewers, but I don't know. I feel like the creative definitely has stepped it up. Um, and I'm surprised WWE creative hasn't really stepped up.
I ain't surprised by watching Unreal, but I will
Which is the
say
worst.
they need
This
to
was like the worst ever like wrestling show to ever
stop it.
exist.
I'll say this after do season 3 because I want to see what was the story behind all this recently going on, and then cut it off. But I will say to this comment by Fernando, AJ Styles versus Will Ospreay. Ospreay is still injured with the neck injury, but I would love to see this type of match. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not gonna happen because AJ said once he hangs it up, he has no interest in going back in the ring. He'll be done. I will say, if he was to go back in the ring and it's not in a WWE ring, it will be a TNA ring, which is kind of basically WWE at this point. So that's that. Maria with another comment. AEW is a little better right now. I would say so. The weekly television shows, although SmackDown's been cooking these last couple weeks, I will say that, especially been going to 3 hours, adding more depth to that roster. It's been really good. But
Well,
yeah,
ever since they pushed Carmelo Hayes,
and then
it's
you
been
bring
pretty
Trick
good.
Williams. Then you got Trick doing what he's doing. And we still don't even know what Oba's going to be landing, which I believe he'll be on Raw. It makes the most sense for him to be on Raw. But yeah, I will say AEW was a little better as of late. Really quickly before we go back to our WrestleMania plans, and then we're gonna wrap up the show. Tommaso Ciampa is giving me Captain Spaulding vibes from House of a Thousand Corpse. If you know, you know. Just look up a House of a Thousand Corpse. You're gonna see Captain Spaulding with the paint on his face, the
Brother, he's
beard.
called the Psycho Killer for a reason. He
Exactly.
looked like one.
Exactly. God rest his soul, because the actor that played Captain Spaulding passed away, which I didn't know that. But yeah, definitely gives that type of vibe. Now, with that being said,
Oh, what about what you think they're gonna do with well, Royce Keys, aka Powerhouse Hobbs?
oh yes, we did forget to touch on that. Oh, while we're on that, a surprise that we thought we was gonna get, we didn't get, was obviously Chris Jericho returning. That was unfortunate. I think the best time for him to return would have been at the Rumble, but I think considering that it was in Saudi, he probably played a role in that. Maybe I'm just speculating. Mr. Royce Keys, I actually missed his entrance due to the stream cutting up. As I said in the text, I was like, the stream was working perfectly fine. All PLE, which I can't tell you what stream it is because I don't want to get cut. I'm gonna need it. Sorry, can't give up the sauce. But it was working perfectly fine until we got to the Rumble, the men's Rumble. Like now, I want to keep cutting in and out and stuff. So I missed his actual entrance. I had to catch it on Twitter. I love the touch they did with how it showed Powerhouse Hobbs and then it shouted into Royce Keys. I thought that was a nice touch. I think he had a decent showing in the match. But those who don't know, the name Royce Keys comes from his youngest son, who's named Royce, and his late mother's maiden name was Keys. So he put it together as Royce Keys. So anyone out there trying to bash the name, F you. But with that being said, I feel like he will be going to Raw. I believe you said it, or was it either you, Roman, or Clips? But it was like you guys said it on the perfect timing. He has to feud with the Vision, and then right as that was sent out, the Vision ganged up on him, eliminated him. So I feel like that could be a perfect little storyline you can tell to add some more depth into that, and you have someone that can fight Bronson Reed, because let's face it, Bronson Reed beat Roman Reigns clean one-on-one, and they done nothing with that. So this would be a nice little thing for them to do. Bronson against another big guy always does well. We've seen it with Braun and others, so I think it'll be good for the weekly television. I don't think he goes after any titles just yet. Maybe later down the line, but I just hope he doesn't fall by the wayside like they did with Penta, because it seems like Penta's momentum just went downhill. So we'll see. Is Bianca still injured? I believe so, with the finger injury. And yes, I agree, Maria. Raw does make the most sense for Royce Keys and Oba. But what's your thoughts? What you think the direction is going to be with Royce Keys? And then you can go into what do you think the plans will be for Mania before we wrap up the show.
Who you say? You said Royce Keys?
Yeah, Powerhouse Hobbs. Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, I think they're gonna start off. I think it's gonna be like him and Punk versus the Vision. I feel like for a while. Then I do think he does just be that. Yeah, he's just that guy that every time the Vision comes out, starts attacking people, he's coming out to save those other people. I think they should go with the Bronson Reed. If they already built up Braun Breaker like enough to the point where he was bulletproof, I would have had them two fight at that Mania.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think Braun Breaker definitely needs a good Mania match, and he needs to go over, especially what they've been doing with him. But yeah, I think they do that. Then post Mania, I mean, I don't think we're ever gonna get a draft, so stay on Raw.
We will in 2K26 for Universe mode.
I mean, you just gotta. I think mid card, but we'll see, because he's literally, other than Jade, he's the only like guy with not a lot of experience to just go straight to the main roster. You know, I'm assuming he's going to the main roster, because if you have a debut at Rumble,
NXT.
The thing with NXT is it's just the same thing. You know,
Have we
he's just
looked at
not gonna
that?
stand out. That's the problem.
He might, if you have you looked at that? And by the way, I think it's this upcoming Tuesday. Did you look at who's wrestling for the NXT Championship in that ladder match?
Yeah, nah.
Jesus Christ!
The NXT roster is literally Blake Monroe and Blake Monroe. So,
Like I love Ricky Saints, but even if he wins it, who the hell is he going against? He ain't got nobody.
exactly. And he does have the history with Hobbs in AEW. So, but I think
Oh
Ricky.
no, you know what? They got Jasper Troy
Yeah, they
from
do
the
got Jasper Troy,
Canes.
bro. Yeah, bro. Sleeping on Jasper Troy.
How about a K? I believe Fernando's trying to say kayfabe. Free agency storyline between Raw and SmackDown. I mean, we've been asking for that for years when it comes to just Survivor Series. It's never going to happen. It's not happening at this point of stage. We have lost all hope when it comes to that. Because it would have been nice to even bring back the bragging rights pay-per-view and make brands feel something. You know, you could have done a GM versus GM match. Impromptu tiebreaker for the brand supremacy. They both former wrestlers and former NWA champions, so that would be a nice little touch. Nobody would probably want to see it, but again, it's just something fresh as a storyline. But yeah, I think those days are over, unfortunately. Now I'll start off real quickly and we're gonna wrap it up the show. What is my predictions and plans for WrestleMania? Now that the Rumble's over and we're officially in WrestleMania season. We already kind of touched on it a little bit. I got Punk and Roman. I mean, this is inevitable. As far as Roman going for the World Heavyweight title, it's inevitable. The moment Raw got moved to Netflix, Roman was going to be on that Raw. Like it is what it is. You're moving that brand that's been on USA for that many years to Netflix, one of the biggest platforms, if not the biggest platform for people that watch TV, boxing, etc. You're gonna want your heavy hitters on. They're gonna want the heavy hitters on the show for ratings, money, draw, whatever. So it was only a matter of time before Roman becomes one of the faces of Raw for that championship. How long he holds it is the real question. So yeah, Roman versus Punk will probably be night 2 of Mania, main event. Then you will have, I would say, Cody and Drew, night 1 main event. Unless you go the route of the Fatal 4-Way, which would be Sammy, Fatu, McIntyre, and Cody. That'll be a nice touch. I'm gonna go on a limb and just say Raquel versus Liv, night 1, night 2. I'm gonna go night 2. If they do have Valkyrie healthy, I can see Valkyrie being involved in that, making a 3-way. I won't be surprised if we have Rio versus Rio fighting each other if that team splits up at Mania, or have Rio versus Valkyrie. I wouldn't be surprised at that. Then you have EO probably going against Asuka at Mania. If Bianca is coming back in time, I can definitely see Bianca and Jade at Mania, night 1. I don't want to necessarily see that match because Jade hasn't shown me a reason to believe in that match, but that would probably be the match. Becky and AJ Lee for the IC title. I would probably go a mixed. I'll probably go a multi-man and woman tag team match for the championships either night, depending on what team they decide to go with. Whether it's going to be the men's tag titles or the women's. Braun and Seth is definitely going to be on the card. I wouldn't be surprised if they have Charlotte and Alexa break up and they go one-on-one. That could be another option. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think they'll probably be involved in a tag team match. And I don't know who he faces, so I'll have to think about it. But more than likely, Dominic is going to be back and healthy. And he should have dropped the IC title if he's going to be out this long. Just saying. But if he's back, I can see him defending the IC title against, if I had to go out on a limb, Finn Balor. and Finn going over.
Keys.
And Finn Balor going over. Because I think Finn Balor's going to get a resurgence this year.
Yeah, okay. I say that every year.
I know, but based on what happened with him and Punk and the interactions, I think they actually might do something with him.
Yeah, especially
once Judgment Day is finally going
the fact that they didn't put him in the Rumble though.
They didn't put Carmelo in the Rumble either, which I don't understand why.
But he's the United States champion. There's a difference.
Yeah, but, I mean,
Finn Balor's just sitting on his hands right now. So
literally. So that's kind of my take on that. Aura Hawk, do you hate Hogan for his lies and infamous audio? Hate's a strong word. I just dislike the I love Hulk Hogan. I dislike. I don't remember the man's real name. Terry something, right? I forgot his actual last name. But yeah, the wrestler that we got to see on TV, cool. I like him. The person outside of that, I'm not messing with. But that's neither here nor there. Maria, are we sure The Rock is not getting involved in Mania this year? Yeah, I'm positive. Oh, I'm glad you brought up The Rock because his daughter, Ava, she left NXT. She is no longer with NXT. Her contract is expired. She did not want to renew it. So that's interesting to see what they go with that route. As far as GMs, I probably didn't go Robert Stone because he's already been kind of around there. So,
nah, they're gonna give it to Ariana Grace.
Oh, her too. But isn't she with TNA?
Like you said, TNA's WWE.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Maria, Jade versus Charlotte Flair. That would probably be my backup if Bianca still isn't ready.
No, I'm not watching that.
I love Charlotte. Charlotte can wrestle a broom and make it look good, but again, it's Jade. I don't believe Jade has shown me enough in ring wise.
Charlotte can't carry like that.
Not anymore.
She can carry, but not like that. You got to meet her in the middle.
Yeah, I think if you was getting this match maybe 2-3 years ago, pre-knee injury Charlotte, she could carry that match. At this point, she can carry, but I think Jay's going to have to pull a little bit of the weight to make it more believable. And again, I don't think Jay has shown enough of that yet for me to be a believer in that type of match. Same with Bianca, which is why I wish they would have Jay just defend, or not defend. If you're not going to have to defend the belt weekly, at least have put her in more matches weekly. I don't care who it's against. Put her in matches so she can get some ring rust off because you're not doing live shows as much as you used to back in the day anyway. So that's my my thing. Maria also. Oh, before we get to Sharon's comment, Maria, Finn Balor wins the IC title. I hope so. Sharon died 25:05. I agree. It's getting over real quick. Roman was upset with it too. I'm glad you mentioned that because I was trolling in our group chat about that. But it actually fits his character, the heel-like character. Calling out creative, like I gave y'all 2 years. I took a break for 2 years. Y'all still can't build up superstars? All right. I guess I gotta take matters in my own hand. I'm gonna take back what's mine. Y'all gonna have to just deal with it. Because clearly you need me. When I gave y'all time, y'all couldn't do nothing with it. So I'm the attraction, I'm the draw, I'm the tribal chief. And I'm gonna take back what's mine. You're right. Maria, she was terrible, let's be real. And Fernando, Page or Andre Chase is replacing Ava Rain. I wouldn't be mad at a Page GM run. Wouldn't be mad at that, but that's someone outside the box. But Ty, I'm gonna let you go. Be wrapping up the show. What would be your predictions for the Mania moving forward? Early predictions.
Yeah, I think it was pretty much everything you had. The Roman Punk. I think I can see Finn Balor if they're really serious about pushing Finn Balor. If not, definitely gonna be. I'm kind of torn, right? Because I don't know if they do Oba versus Brock this early. Do you feel like it?
If they do, I don't see Oba going over. just because I don't think Brock's ready to hang him up until the summer. If he does hang him up till then, assuming he does.
Yeah, but Brock can lose. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that screams like more next year Mania type.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't be surprised. Hear me out. A Dom versus Oba.
I'm not mad at that either. The ruler. I am
You
not
feel
mad
me?
at that.
Because this is perfect. Like we know Dom's character, the scary heel that can always cheat. Now he got to go up against this big man that can easily beat him in a couple minutes. So I think they can go that route. US title, they're probably gonna do a multi-man. That just screams a multi-man. Too much talent on SmackDown. But if they want to go story-wise, let's put Carmelo in a good story. Have him and Trick Williams. That's what I would do.
Run it back. I would love to
Exactly.
see that too.
Then I feel like for Drew, I know that it seems like the Fatu Cody. But you know me, bro. I don't want to see Cody in the title picture because there's a lot of other talent. I'd rather him and Fatu have their own one-on-one match at Mania in a stipulation. You know, that's more to me because I feel like if we can keep them from fighting each other before Mania, just have a one-on-one at Mania. Because no matter what, after that triple threat, no matter who goes over, which if that triple threat's happening, I think Drew would retain, in my opinion. I would put it on Fatu, but you know that ain't happening. Um, then the tag titles, they're always gonna do some last second stuff. So
Mhm. I didn't mention the US title because I thought that was going to be a SmackDown go away show like they did before with the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Then you got the tag titles potentially. How you feel about Carmelo Hayes versus Damian Priest? That was something Maria mentioned.
n-
I don't know where Priest fits into
nah,
all of this. I think he needs a
nah.
character. He
Not a
definitely needs a theme song.
one-on-one. There's no good story you can tell with that. Not heading into Mania. If it's a multi-man match, yeah, Priest can be in it. But if we're doing one-on-one with Carmelo Hayes, you tell the story with Trick Williams, or
I one up you. If we don't get him, if we have one multi-man match on each night, night one you have the U.S. title, Philly to four-way, Hayes, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, Dragunov. The NXT 4. You have a storyline you already have with Ilina and Carmelo. Trick and Mello writes itself. And then you have the young OG involved. Oh, wait, never mind. He's on Raw. So that wouldn't work. Never mind. Javon's on Raw. So then I'll keep it as a triple threat with Trick, Dragunov, and Trick, Dragunov, and Mello. Maria put Trick Williams to LA Knight. LA Knight's on Raw also. At the moment, they like to flip flop.
and they're not doing anything with LA Knight ever.
As of now, at least.
As of now,
because things could change, hopefully, but yeah, it's looking real slow for LA Knight.
I mean, there's not much. What, he's gonna go chase the IC belt?
There's no point.
World title pitch is locked for
months.
months.
It's locked up. He ain't touching that.
Even probably a year, because if Roman's gonna go over, Roman's holding that belt probably till next year.
And then you have maybe him versus Bronson Reed. Because
I feel like this Vision stuff has just been dragged out.
It has
So
been.
unless you're doing like some multi-man, like I said, with like Division versus like Seth Rollins and like LA Knight, nah, it's no
That's
point.
fair. That's fair. Well, any last points before we wrap up the show?
Nah.
I will say no Aleister Black in the Rumble was interesting too, considering
I'm not surprised. Him and Rusev haven't done really anything since
well, at least
coming back.
Aleister had. Granted, it's been in like 12 matches, but at least he had a little weekly feud with Priest that ended in the ambulance.
Same with Rusev. He had that feud with Dom.
Was it as good as what we got from Priest and Aleister though? I don't think it was.
No, not match quality wise.
Yeah,
but story wise,
I hear your point though.
Story wise, Dom was pretty much like getting chased by all these contenders, right? And it just went away.
Man. And I just hope, because it's only going to get worse because you're going to have more talent have to get called up. You still got Jada Parker, Lola Vice, JC Jane. You could keep Fallon Helly and them can stay down there a little longer if you call up JC. But you got Jada Parker, Blake Monroe, who I think is going to be down there a little longer because they're going to need depth at that. Well, actually, they can call up Blake Monroe because Kendall Gray is phenomenal. I could see Kendall Gray getting called up before Blake, potentially, if they was to do something weird like that. But the point that it still stands, like you got all this talent coming up, you're going to have talent coming out, of course. 3-hour shows for Raw and SmackDown. You have the talent to book good weekly 3-hour shows. Creative need to get on their job and book this shit correctly. There's no excuse. It's not like 2015, 2017 where you like kind of a lot of depth. You got depth now. Make it happen. Maria, the last few comments before we wrap up. No Kofi Kingston. He's a former world champion. And Fallon is ready now. I believe Fallon's ready now too. The problem is the mid card on both brands. Well, not really Raw because Becky's doing great things with the mid card over there. SmackDown in particular with the mid card, then it's not being utilized. I'd much rather her stay in NXT where I know Sean's going to utilize her, opposed to her coming up to Raw, SmackDown, her not getting utilized. Because B-Fab got a little better, but even that's being dragged out to the point where you have no one on SmackDown. Injuries are being depleted. Jordan Grace feels like an afterthought, which is crazy because this is Jordan Grace we're talking about. Just a few years ago, she was one of the biggest women's wrestlers in the world. And she feels like, meh. And she's clearly better than Jade. But they're going to just feed her to Jade for her to lose, which is ridiculous to me. So, yeah, I just don't see where they go with that. And I think Ty can agree with this right here. Road Dogg needs to get fired ASAP.
Oh, you didn't know?
I was just
Boy, you asked to call somebody.
But yeah, man, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on the episode, the Royal Rumble reactions, AJ Styles' career, and much more. We'll be back next week. So stay tuned. Keep the noties on. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And let us know who you think had the best Royal Rumble team draft between myself and Ty. So we got to stay safe, stay warm, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Radio 8.
Here it comes!
Hey, run that thing up.
Radio 8.